Have you ever stopped to notice that something inside you is changing, but you can't quite put your finger on what it is? There's a restlessness in your chest, a strange sensation you may have labeled as anxiety, exhaustion, or even depression. But what if I told you that what you're feeling isn't any of those things? What if I told you that this discomfort, this unease that seems to have no logical explanation, is actually the most sacred signal the universe could send you? Stay with me until the end of this video, because I'm going to show you the silent signs that you're going through a deep spiritual transformation. And more importantly, I'm going to reveal why this change, as uncomfortable as it feels right now, is the greatest gift life could give you at this moment. And if you're already feeling chills, that inner confirmation that this message is meant for you, leave the word awakening in the comments, so I know you're living this right now. The truth no one tells you about spiritual transformation is that it rarely arrives as a dramatic mystical event, with heavenly lights and obvious revelations. No, the evolution of the soul is far more subtle, far quieter, and precisely because of that, you may be going through it right now without even realizing it. That TV show you used to watch religiously every week that suddenly feels completely pointless? Those conversations with friends that once energized you but now leave you strangely drained? That sensation of watching your own life from the outside, as if it belonged to someone else? These are all signs, clues the universe is leaving along your path, spiritual breadcrumbs marking the trail of your evolution. The first sign, and perhaps the most confusing of all, is this entirely new relationship you develop with solitude. For years, maybe decades, you ran from silence. You needed music, television, people, anything to fill the space and distract you from your own thoughts. But now, something has changed. You start canceling social plans, and you don't feel guilty. You choose to stay home on a Saturday night, and instead of feeling lonely, you feel peaceful. You actively seek moments of quiet, as if your soul is thirsty for silence. And hey, race, what's really happening for the first time in your life? You're no longer running from yourself. Your consciousness is expanding, and it needs space, it needs silence to reorganize the process, to integrate everything that's shifting within you. It's as if you're inside a cocoon, that sacred and necessary stage before full metamorphosis. The second sign is something that may be frightening you, an amplified empathy that borders on the supernatural. You walk into a room and instantly feel the tension in the air without a word being spoken. You look at someone, and you just know they're suffering even while they're smiling. You watch a sad movie, and it affects you for days, as if the character's pain became your own. You absorb other people's emotions like a sponge, and it leaves you exhausted, confused, wondering if something is wrong with you. But nothing is wrong. What's happening is that the veils between you and the rest of existence are thinning. Your spiritual sensitivity is awakening. Your higher chakras are opening, and you're beginning to perceive what was always there but filtered out by the rational mind, the energetic interconnectedness of all beings. You're developing perception beyond the 5 physical senses. And yes, it can feel overwhelming at first, because you haven't yet learned how to manage this new capacity, how to create energetic boundaries. But this isn't a curse, it's the awakening of a gift your soul has always carried. Now pay close attention to this third sign, because it's crucial and often misunderstood. You can no longer tolerate superficiality. Small talk about the weather, celebrity gossip, empty distractions that once filled your days now leave you restless, almost irritated. You feel an inner urgency to talk about real things, the meaning of life, genuine emotions, authentic connection. Forced networking drains you completely. Socialize those automatic and fine responses when you're not fine begin to weigh on your conscience like betrayals of your own soul. What the universe is doing is recalibrating your value system. Your soul is demanding authenticity because it knows you can no longer live a life built on masks and hollow conventions. You're being called into a more real, raw, truthful existence, and anything that doesn't resonate with that truth will start to deeply disturb you. Don't fight it. This discomfort is your soul's GPS, guiding you exactly where you need to go. The fourth sign appears through dreams and synchronicities, and if you're experiencing this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Your dreams become cinematic, vivid, rich with symbolism you feel is important even if you can't fully decode it. You dream about people you haven't seen in years, and the next day, somehow, they reappear in your life. You think about someone, And seconds later, your phone rings, it's them. You start seeing repeating numbers everywhere: 1111, 2222, 303, with a frequency that defies coincidence. You need a specific answer, and a book literally falls off a shelf with exactly the information you were searching for. These are not coincidences. The universe is speaking to you in the only language that can bypass the rational mind symbols: dreams, synchronicity. Carl Jung called this meaningful coincidence moments, when the outer world perfectly mirrors the inner state in a way that cannot be explained by simple cause and effect. What's happening is that you're beginning to perceive the invisible threads that connect everything to patterns that were always there, but you didn't yet have the eyes to see. Your consciousness is expanding to include dimensions of reality that were once beyond your perceptual reach. And now we arrive at the fifth sign, perhaps the most unsettling of all: the feeling of no longer belonging. You look at your life, your job, your relationships, your routines, and everything feels oddly distant, as if you're watching someone else's life. The ambitions that once drove you, career goals, material success, suddenly feel empty and meaningless. You can't get excited about the same things the people around you do. You feel like an outsider observing a civilization that speaks a language you no longer understand. And this can be terrifying because it looks like depression, like apathy, like something is fundamentally wrong. But listen carefully, because this is critical. You are not losing yourself, you are finding yourself. For years, maybe your entire life, you built an identity based on external expectations. You became who your family needed you to be, who society said you should be, who felt safest, most acceptable, most normal. That identity served a purpose. It protected you and brought you here. But now your true soul, the divine spark that always knew who you really are beneath all the conditioning, is asking to emerge. When these two versions of you coexist, the conditioned self and the authentic self, it creates an existential friction you experience as alienation. You no longer fit into your old life because you're expanding beyond it. The sixth sign shows up in relationships, and it's both painful and liberating. People begin to leave your life, not through dramatic fights, but subtly. A longtime friend replies less. A social group quietly dissolves. Conversations that once flowed now feel forced, like you're speaking different languages. At the same time, entirely new people appear. Someone you barely knew becomes deeply important. You find your spiritual tribe in unexpected places. The universe is cleansing your social circle. And as painful as it is, it's necessary. Every person vibrates at a certain frequency, and as you evolve spiritually, your frequency changes. Some will grow with you, others won't. No one is at fault. You're simply on different paths now. Forcing connections that no longer resonate is like trying to grow a plant in infertile soil. The universe is freeing you to make space for relationships aligned with who you're becoming. The seventh sign is a collapse of old structures and patterns, often in very tangible ways. A job you once tolerated becomes unbearable. A relationship built on fear or convenience reveals its cracks. Habits you ran on autopilot suddenly make no sense. You may even face events that seem negative: job loss, breakups, health crises. This is where most people get lost, because they see these moments as punishment or failure. But the opposite is true. The universe isn't punishing you, it's liberating you. Removing what blocks your true path. That job was draining your life force. That relationship kept you small. That health scare forced you to finally listen to your body. This isn't destruction, it's clearing, creating space for the new. And yes, it's terrifying when everything that once felt stable falls apart. But trust this: on the other side of this necessary breakdown is a life far more aligned with your truth. The eighth sign is an irresistible pull towards spiritual knowledge and practices. Suddenly, you're fascinated by topics that never interested you before: Buddhism, shamanism, astrology, numerology, energy, chakras, manifestation. A specific book keeps showing up until you finally read it, and it changes everything. You discover meditation, yoga, energy work, and they resonate beyond logic. It's as if you're being guided, as if an invisible curriculum is unfolding at exactly the right time. And it's not random. Your soul is seeking the tools it needs to navigate this transformation. The universe is a patient, creative teacher orchestrating encounters, placing books in your path, even using algorithms to deliver exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. Now listen carefully, because here's what's really happened behind all these signs. You're going through what mystics and sages across all spiritual traditions have recognized throughout history: an ego death and a soul rebirth. Not a literal death, but the dissolution of a constructed identity. And like any death, there is grief. You're mourning who you thought you were, your old life, certainty, predictability. But simultaneously, something far more authentic is being born. Your true essence beyond conditioning, trauma, fear, and mask is emerging. This process is not comfortable. Real transformation never is. The butterfly must struggle out of the cocoon to strengthen its wings. If someone cut it open, it would never fly. In the same way, you must go through this discomfort, this confusion, this not knowing, because it's forging your higher self. Your anxiety isn't fear of the future, it's friction between two versions of you. Your unexplained sadness isn't depression, it's your soul grieving what must be released. Your solitude isn't escape, it's the sacred womb of transformation. Your discomfort with superficiality isn't arrogance, it's authenticity. Synchronicities aren't coincidences, they're confirmation. Not belonging isn't alienation, it's transcendence. People leaving isn't abandonment, it's realignment. Collapsing structures aren't failure, they're preparation. And these spiritual interests aren't a phase, they're tools for your journey. So if you're experiencing this now, here's what you need to hear. First, you're not crazy. In a world obsessed with materialism and ego, awakening can feel isolating, but nothing is wrong with you. Second, you're not alone. Millions are going through this right now. A collective awakening is unfolding, and you're part of it. Third, trust the timing. Your soul chose this moment. Fourth, be gentle with yourself. Transformation isn't linear, it's a spiral. Fifth, document your journey. Patterns will emerge. Sixth, find your tribe. You don't have to walk this path alone. And here's the most important truth: this transformation has a purpose beyond you. Yes, it's about your alignment and authenticity, but it's also about the collective. Every awakened soul raises the frequency of the planet. You are becoming a lighthouse in a world starving for light. Your transformation is not selfish, it's service. If this message resonated, tell me in the comments which signs you're experiencing. Let's build a community of support. Subscribe and turn on notifications. I'm here to guide you through this awakening. Like this video so it reaches others who feel alone. And remember, you are not losing yourself. You are finding yourself. The discomfort is temporary. The transformation is eternal. Trust the process. Honor your journey. Your soul knows the way.